Alright, well, I got about 20 minutes of space left. I just dawned on me Easter is tomorrow, so I gotta hurry the fuck up. It's already like 1 in the morning. But anyways, what I was saying in this last video was that it feels fucking incredible to be 40 years old. Like, I knew at some point in my life everything would make sense. But I did not foresee it happening this early in my life. But at the same time, it doesn't surprise me because, I don't know, it's just... Maybe somewhere subconsciously I just knew that I would understand before the end of my life, you know? But I can't tell you what that feeling is like inside, where when anything that happens that I may perceive as negative, that my mind automatically looks for the positive in it, and that that it defaults to positive, and that to not have any regrets after fucking having just so fucking many of them, so many unanswered questions, so many things that fucking didn't make sense. And it was like that 6 years of shit that I went through, I didn't even figure it out during that time. It wasn't until a few years after that all these things started occurring to me, because it was about 3.5 years in to everything turning around that I finally started to realize all these things. And it's like, it's such a fucking incredible feeling, because like knowing that I don't have to plan anything, I don't have to plot anything, I don't have to fucking figure shit out, nothing at all, absolutely nothing. In fact, trying to would just be a pointless waste of time, because it'll all figure itself out exactly when it's supposed to, and it will always be exactly on fucking time, because it always is. All the things that my gut has ever told me throughout my life that was going to happen, you know, I might not have known what age I would be, but I knew at about what point in my life all these different things were going to happen. And I shit you not, every fucking time it always happens exactly when or exactly how, you know, at whatever point in my life that it says. And it's, oh shit, hold on, trying to get this here. And it's always far greater than I could have ever hoped and prayed for. Every fucking time, it's always just far greater. Like, I would sit and imagine these things happening my whole life. And then once they happen, it's just like, man, I feel like I knew that one day in that 6 years, that one of the things that really got me through that was knowing and truly believing that at some point all of it would turn around, and that all, you know, I would understand why those years happened, and that I would feel the feeling inside that I feel now. You know, during that 6 years, like, I mean, I think I've said before that, like, your vibe doesn't lie. You cannot fucking fake what your vibe is telling people. I mean, maybe there are people that can do so, but they have to be pretty fucking talented at it, because your vibe, no matter what, on at least the vast majority of people, is going to radiate what you feel inside, whether you want it to or not. And during that 6 years, I knew that it had this just depressing fucking vibe that I was giving off to people. You know, it was like, I hated that feeling of that vibe. It was so fucking strong that I could feel it. And it's like, I knew that when the day came that everything turned around, that at some point I'd understand why those years happened. I knew who I would be mentally, physically, and spiritually. I knew how I was going to feel inside. I knew how that feeling of just unbelievable happiness was going to feel like. And I knew that when that day came, I'd be able to look back at those 6 years and be fucking so happy they went exactly as they did. And sure enough, that's happened over the last 5 years. And I tell you what, the vibe that I give off now, that's just this fucking ecstatic, happy, fucking positive vibe, it's stronger than I could have ever imagined it being. And it feels fucking incredible. It feels incredible. And it's like, I don't know, I knew that this was where I would be once that shit ended. I didn't know how long it would take after it ended, but I knew that it was leading me to this feeling right now. And sure enough, here I am, right on fucking time. And it is fucking incredible. And all these things, it's like having just any one of these life-changing realizations has been fucking incredible, but putting them all together, knowing why everything that's ever happened did so, it led me to exactly where I am right now. and any one detail changed, even to the slightest degree, could have created a butterfly effect that would have fucking thrown me way off course by now. Even something that seemed absolutely insignificant at the time. And it's like, I have to know why everything's happened, to have no regrets, no worries, not only to be okay with the way my life has been, but I want to change a fucking thing about it anymore. And to just give off this fucking super positive fucking euphoric vibe, and to feel euphorically happy, and it just fucking grows by the day. Every time I think that I couldn't handle feeling any better than I do, I feel better than I fucking did the day before. And it just keeps fucking happening. Like, every time I'm just like, man, I literally cannot handle feeling any better than I do right now. And something else happens and I'm just like, wow, I feel better than I even did before. And it's to have every unanswered question has been answered. To know exactly that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to fucking be at this very moment. And to know that everything is right on track. Everything my gut's telling me, I've gotten to the point now that I've said that God has taught me how to read my gut so well that, like, I don't know how any of these things are going to come about, but I know that they're going to. And I can see, I'm starting to get ideas as to how, and it's like just this fucking feeling. And it's like, I knew during that 6 years, I mean, really, that's what got me through it. Knowing ever since the very beginning of it, I knew that when the time was right, it would all turn around, and one day this was how I was going to feel. Right before my fucking fate took hold. And that's exactly where I'm at. And it's like, like I said, like, even people who aren't religious can still relate to this stuff. You can still practice these same things. You can still look at yourself, look at your life. I mean, you can look at it as fate or the universe, or you don't have to look at it as God or whatever. I recommend that you fucking do, and that you get to know God, because it's worked wonders in my life. God has done some crazy, wonderful things in my life, and it just keeps getting fucking better and better and better. And it's like, I'm just saying that by changing my mindset, it changed everything. And, like, I'm always making daily progress on myself, mentally, physically, and spiritually, every single day. And it's like, over time, I've seen changes. I've seen the progress that I've made, and it just fucking feels wonderful. And I don't know, it's like, for people that are having a hard time, I mean, like I said, even if you're not a religious person, like, even if you just believe in fate, that, if maybe where you're at right now is exactly where the fuck you're supposed to be, Maybe if you get to know God, maybe you would understand that more. Maybe it would make sense to you more. I don't know. But I'm just saying that maybe you're having a down times right now because you're supposed to be having down fucking times. Maybe... Ooh, I can adjust the fucking light. Not much. Sorry. But maybe that's exactly where the fuck you're supposed to be. Maybe you're not supposed to be at that next stage in your life where everything makes sense. Maybe you're not... I don't know. Maybe what you're going through is leading you to the point to where it'll all make sense. And maybe you being down is what's going to lead you to a greater good. Because I've come to realize that, there is a reason that bad things happen in the world. Some call it the devil, some call it just evil people. However you want to look at it. But it's like, I've noticed that, at least in my life, that anytime something that seems to be bad would happen, that a lot of times it's leading me to a greater good. It's just, I'm not fucking smart enough and don't have the capability of seeing how that could be a positive thing in my life in the end. But as life goes on, I start to realize these things, and I start to realize how, like, a lot of times when something bad happens, it's just to get me to something even better, to get me to a greater good, And it's like, here's a fucking dramatically overblown example, but here it's still a good example nonetheless. If World War II never happened, most of us that are alive that were born after World War II probably wouldn't be here. You think about all the men that went to war, all the women that maybe were married that had a kid with somebody else while their husband was at war, or maybe all those any of the soldiers that had kids with people over in Europe or something, or in Japan or whatever, they wouldn't have if that war didn't exist. All the people that had died, would have still lived and might have had families with different people. And I mean, there's a very good chance that a lot of us, at least at some point down the road afterwards, would not have been here. Because a lot of people that died that never had kids would have never fucking died, and they would have had kids and families, and would have just thrown everything off. So it's like, even though it's a fucked up incident, and I damn sure ain't trying to justify it by any stretch, I'm just saying, though, that, like, sorry, I got a car coming for real this time. There you go. But it's like, if not for that, I might not be here. You might not be here. Now, again, if World War II hadn't happened, I'm convinced that the fucking, the super rich people might not have, I mean, at some point they would have, I'm sure, but they might not have started getting together and working together for their own common interests, as opposed to competing against one another like they did pre-World War II. Which, like, the Bilderberg Group was created, like 9 years after World War II ended? And all the super rich have been meeting once a year and all that shit, so I mean, that might not have come out of it. But at some point, somebody would have been smart enough to do that. I'm surprised the motherfuckers back in 1800s or earlier didn't realize that shit and start working together instead of against each other. But, it's just... Anyways, my point is that anything that happens, you can't foresee... I mean, whether it's just in your own life or if it's, on a state level or national or international level. You cannot foresee the things that may come from it. So, how, you don't really know enough to be able to say anything's bad, but even the things that do, greater goods can come from it. So, anyways, I'm down to about 7 or 8 minutes here. And I gotta go to fucking bed because I gotta get up early for Easter. But I've been wanting to make these videos, but apparently it wasn't time to, or else I would have fucking done them. But I just want to do a follow-up and just tell people that, dude, 5 months later, and I'm fucking I'm not only am I happier than I was, even fucking dramatically happier than I was just 5 months ago, but I have changed inside. Like, I'm not the same person all over again. Like, the person I was 5 months ago, I don't even remember that fucking guy. Like, everything in my head it's changed so much because I keep having these realizations and realizing, like, the whole not having free will thing. And it is like, I shit you not, I thank God every day for making sure that I don't have a say-so, because I would have fucked things up so long ago because I didn't have the foresight to realize that by doing things in the past that I thought was a terrible idea would have led me to where I'm at. Now, I knew everything would lead me to where I'm supposed to be, but I didn't realize it in that kind of fucking detail. And it's like, now that I have, everything's changed again. And it's like, I don't know, I just keep adding all these things together, and it's just every time I have some new profound realization about my life and about life in general, my future, my fate, like, it just, man, it just changes me again. And it's like, I don't know, like, I'm getting to the point now where anything at all that happens, that I'm trying to find I'm not necessarily trying to find the reason why. I'm just trying to accept anything that happens. Like I said, a couple minor things have happened lately that, not really bad. It's just, I was just like, man, that fucking sucks. But, I just like, look, hey, that's just the way it is. That's how it is, Like, I had to have a fucking tooth pulled, and that shit's been hurting. It was hurting before I had it pulled. It sucks. I'm fucking pissed that I had a fucking tooth that actually had to get pulled. And I was fucking down about it for a while, and then I'm like, I'm gonna get fucking implants anyways. I just gotta wait a little while. But I just figured, hey, man, there's a fucking reason for it. Like, I've been trying to get into shape. at some point, like a year and a half ago or so, I was like right about 200 pounds, like 197. And I've been working on my stomach, and I've heard that, by losing weight, it'll make it show better. And somewhere about a year and a half ago, I just like dropped 30, 35 pounds out of the fucking blue. I wasn't even trying to lose weight. I haven't been trying to lose weight at all, but I just happened to lose weight. Well, now with this tooth that had been bothering me, and since it got pulled, like, it's still fucking bothering me. But I'm like, I wanted to lose like 5, maybe 10 more pounds, because I got down to about 165, 166. And then because of not eating any fucking sugar or candy or chocolate, and not drinking nearly as many cans of pop, and just barely eating in general because the shit was bothering me, I already lost 15 fucking pounds. I'm 151 fucking pounds. I can't fucking believe it. I haven't been 151 pounds since I was like 25 years old. And I'm like still not eating very much. So, and you can see that little bit on my stomach. I wanted that little tiny bit of fat that I want to get off is pretty much gone. So there's one positive. So it's like, I don't know, there might have been something else I realized too, but just that one thing alone, like, look at that. I didn't even have to fucking try. In the last year and a half, I've just straight up dropped 50 fucking pounds and made no effort to do so. I eat nothing but fatty, greasy fucking foods. It's just that I eat a meal and that's it. Or a lot of times I eat less than a meal. Like, I'll buy a fucking, some kind of greasy patty melt or something from a place. I'll eat half of it now and then half for fucking the next meal, So I've never been on a diet my entire life. I eat nothing but shit that just would just pack fat onto your ass. But I don't eat a lot, So I get to enjoy the food that I eat. But still, fucking 50 fucking pounds, man. I cannot believe I've lost 50 fucking... My jeans, first time in my life, I bought 11 pairs of fucking work jeans. And I bought them before I lost weight, I've had them for over 2 years now, and I finally, like, wore a hole in one of the knees for the first pair, I'm like, damn. I got 11 pairs of pants that just drastically don't fucking fit me, and that's all I got to wear to work right now. But, man, you know what? How am I going to complain about that? But, I'm about out of time here, but I just want to say, like, I don't know, I wasn't finished with that series, and I think this is probably the end of it now, but it's like, dude, I can't tell you, just from changing my perspective. And I have seen some videos that actually do give some kind of ideas and steps since I made my last videos. Like, one thing that Steve Harvey says is that when you're feeling negative or you're feeling down, just think about all the fucking things you have to be thankful for, and literally go down the list. Now, see, thankfully God's made it a point that I've done that my whole life. I've always tried to look at the things that I'm thankful for. But even in that 6 years, like, how I wasn't able to do that. I was too busy feeling sorry for my fucking self. But again, I know why I was down now. But my point is, when you're feeling down too, you can think about all kinds of things. I mean, just tons of shit that you should be thankful for that you might not have thought about for a while. And that definitely will help you feel better too. But otherwise, work on your fucking mind. Get rid of the negative, replace it with positive. Like, even at work now, like, I don't hang out with anybody at work, like, at work. Like, I don't sit with a group anymore. I don't go sit in the lunchroom. I don't sit and, like, hang out in the mornings or at the end of the day talking to everybody, because a lot of times there's people talking about, what they don't like about the job, whatever's on the news, or just a lot of negative shit, man. And it's like, I didn't even really notice I wasn't making a conscious effort. It just happened. Like, I just found myself not hanging out around the group anymore. And I realized how much happier that makes me, because I'm not listening. I'm not taking in all this negative shit. Just like not listening to or reading the news ever. I keep that bullshit out of my fucking head, and it is fucking wonderful. It makes me a lot happier. So, I mean, I barely hang out with anybody anymore other than my dog. And it's like, it's just, I don't know, that's what I've done. I've just isolated myself to try to keep as much negativity out of my head as possible. And, like, not just out of my head, but to keep from even having to keep it out of my head. I just avoid it all together, and I'm telling you, it'll make the fucking difference. But maybe I'll do another video on it. This is some point down the road. But I really wanted to just get some up there. I got about 10 seconds left. So, I don't know. Y'all take it easy. And I hope y'all get there too, man. But just do what I said, remove the negative and replace it with positive. And get